Our story begins when August Tillman escapes from prison, leaving 2 correctional officers injured. The incident is notorious, and the authorities are under pressure to come up with better solutions. So, a special task force is put together to catch fugitives, starting with Tillman. But what's really special about the task force is all its members are in jail at the moment. Gunderson is your regular caveman. She is the chaotic neutral version of an entrepreneur. Philly is the honey trap, and Dr. Lloyd Lowery is the nerdy gambler. That's when the whole circus begins, with U.S. Marshals Ray Zancanelli and Charlie Duchamp as ringleaders. The cons are promised time deducted from their own sentences for each prisoner they help to catch. Introduced as special deputies when introductions are necessary, the only weapon they are allowed to carry is a phone. While the team learns more about Tillman, Julian Sims is in charge of research. She is a civilian analyst who suffers from social anxiety and tries to hide it from everyone. One of her leads takes the team to a crime scene. The victim is a guy who went to school with Tillman, and they're both connected to a bank robbery years ago. There was someone else involved, never identified. Tillman's partners must have decided to split his share among them, in the hope he would stay in jail for much longer. Now he's taking them down one by one until he finds the money. From a yearbook picture, they get a name for the potential third suspect, Jimbo. It's time to pay him a visit, then. But Gunman the caveman won't be joining them anymore. Apparently, hiding a knife in your sock the first time the squad is eating out is kind of frowned upon. By the time they get to Jimbo's, Tillman has left the house, and Jimbo's soul has left his body. When Julian tells them the heist made someone $500,000 richer, the team begins to suspect they had inside help. One of the tellers at the time was Kyle Farrow. They find his wife tied up, saying that Tillman took him and their daughter. Julian also finds out that Tillman had inside help to break out of jail as well. The female officer who was allegedly injured is now living in Canada. They find them near the border, and the cons put on a show to trick Tillman into getting out of the car. A bomb mounted on the kid's chest is his failsafe, but Charlie takes care of him before he can reach his phone and detonate it. Now the first fugitive is down, and the cons are 1 month closer to their freedom. That's when we find out Zancanelli is in a halfway house. He used to be a marshal, but now he is also a convict. And Charlie has a secret of his own. His heart condition kept him behind a desk for years. This task force is a last chance for both of them. Now Shia and Lowery are living it up in a minimum security prison, but Philly got sent to an even worse one after Charlie found out she abused their trust and moved some money to her overseas account. The initial Fantastic Four are now just to do it, but not for very long. Charlie is busy recruiting her replacement. Erica might be as easy on the eyes as Philly was, but her past is a bit more colorful. She has a tally tattoo on her arm, and let's just say she's not counting how many hearts she broke. Capturing a man named Xavier Price is their second assignment. His wife and their church say he's innocent, but it's revealed that his doll collection is just a miniature version. The real one is a collection of kidnapped women. The psycho keeps them locked up for months in different basements. Zancanelli and Charlie keep clashing over small stuff, and it's obvious that they're both trying to assert dominance. Lowery is also having arguments all the time because of his annoying personality, always trying to justify prejudice or making intrusive questions. At least he's the one who cracks the case this time by profiling Xavier correctly. But when he pushes the new girl too far, Erica shows her true colors. And from Lowery's face, they are all shades of red. She gets grounded in handcuffs while the others go get Xavier. Zancanelli wants her out of the team. Not just because of the fight, but because of the 5 murders in her file. She wasn't charged due to lack of evidence, but that's still scary. None of the others are that hardcore. In a little closed-door chat, Charlie tells him that Erica's father was murdered when she was a young girl. 6 men were involved. She managed to track them down and make 5 of them pay for what they did. The police only got enough evidence about the weapons, and she was also forced to leave her little daughter when she got arrested. Ray reconsiders his position after that conversation, letting her back in the team with a warning. She gets to move to Maybell minimum security prison, like her teammates. Their next target has significant skills in prison break. It's a Mr. Theodore Bagwell, also known as T-Bag. In need of a new prosthetic arm, he hijacks the ambulance that is transporting him. The teen finds out he's after two men who wronged his mother in her deathbed. His encounter with the first one shows him what kitchen nightmares really mean. Then he goes after the other one and makes sure to keep the man's nose to the grindstone. For Lowry, profiling a guy like that is a treat. He predicts that T-Bag won't miss a chance to see his mom one last time. Sure enough, that's exactly how they managed to catch this mama's boy, bagging one more month of freedom for themselves. On visitation day, Erica struggles to admit that no one is coming. Waiting for her outside, she teases Lowry about his interest in Julianne. He claims to be fascinated by her mental problems, in a strictly scientific way. When Erica finally joins them, they get started on the next job. The runner is pedophile Joseph Ramsey, and his victims are all 8-year-old girls. The case is a trigger for Erica. She's already on her limit because of her ex Denny. He doesn't let her see her kid anymore. In a harsh tone, Charlie tells her that everyone has personal problems, and she's not special. The child who first accused Ramsey is a girl named Tess. Talking to his cellmates, Zancanelli finds out that he was obsessed with her. At her school, they arrive almost at the same time as Ramsey. Erica chases him, though the woods, but he vanishes again. While they're trying to profile him, Charlie's own personal problems start to show. His wife, Marisol, shows up unexpectedly. The look on her face tells them that their boss is gonna sleep on the couch tonight. She wants him to take some time off for the romantic trip they had planned. Charlie tries to explain that he can't go now, saying that the task force is too important. He fails to see the implication of those words. Lowry tries to profile Ramsey, but this time he's way off. Not his fault, actually. Everyone assumed Tess was telling the truth. But the girl was just too afraid to accuse her own dad, who was the actual abuser. Ramsey's case is then reopened. The case is so emotionally charged that all of them end up letting their guard down a little. Except for Marisol, of course. She's still mad. But the truth is Charlie's work is never done, and soon there's another criminal on the run. Layla Tompkins is some kind of reversed Tinder swindler, and not even Lowry can figure her out. She keeps escaping through their fingers by using a network of loyal admirers. Eventually, Layla begins to run out of options. Reunited with her teenage son, she threatens to take her own life, but Zancanelli stops her before she can do it. That's when a very serious threat comes up. Christian Beaumont is not only a terrorist himself, but he also worships other people like him. The 10th anniversary of a high-profile execution is what triggers him to escape. He plans to celebrate the occasion with a number of attacks. The postal office is his first target, and Beaumont doesn't stop there. Hacking into the U.S. Marshals network, he gets Charlie's home address. Marisol then receives a suspicious package that turns out to be a bomb. She survives with a few injuries, but that makes Charlie lose the objective stance he has kept since the beginning. This time the roles are swapped, and it's Zancanelli who has to talk some sense to him. Beaumont happens to be their second fugitive with mommy issues. Mrs. Beaumont was fired because of her son's explosive hobby. Instead of repenting and trying to change, he plans to blow up the government building where she used to work. That's supposed to be his grand finale, but the bomb is defused and the terrorist is sent back to jail. By now, the Khans have already knocked off half a year from their sentences. But more than that, they also get to be part of something other than a police lineup. And after a guy like Beaumont, regular fugitives will be a walk in the park. Or so they think. During visiting hours, Mars O'Connell takes a hostage named Starla Rowland and uses her to escape. It is soon revealed that she is actually his girlfriend, and the whole thing was staged. Lowry initially believes her to be the weaker link, but her actions prove him wrong. The couple has a simple but effective escape plan, always using hostages to keep the authorities at bay. Zancanelli comes up with a risky strategy. He lets Starla take him and Lowry hostage. Julianne tracks their phones while the kidnapper eventually takes them to O'Connell. The job is completed successfully, but all that happy team building is again at risk. As Lowry was never told about the plan, he believed to be in much more danger than he really was, and now he resents the others for not telling him. Trying to lighten up the atmosphere as much as possible, Zancanelli organizes a little contest among the cons. The prize is a dinner coupon from a steakhouse, and it's going to whoever performs better in the next case, which is a very bizarre one. 2 inmates escape inside the coffin of a third one, who didn't die of natural causes, by the way. A notebook is retrieved by the team, and it's full of coded messages between the 2 vampire wannabes. Lowry works on the code while the others track down the fugitives. They are found in a small town and a shootout leaves Charlie injured. By then, Lowry has deciphered the journal, and they use it to manipulate the criminal, making them turn on each other. Erica's bravery earns her the coveted coupon. Her effort to win the competition was evident to everyone, but to their shock, she rips it in 2. Explaining that she is actually a vegetarian, Erica says she just wanted to beat them. So much for team building, right? Maybe Zancanelli should have tried a collaborative game instead. But it's not like these guys don't have any other friends just because they're in jail. She has a girlfriend named Vanessa, and they are actually in love. He tries to arrange a more private date, but Charlie forbids that. Working on the new case, they watch an inmate who had conjugal visits with several different women. Frustrated by the injustice, she decides to bypass the prohibition. It doesn't have to be in his cell anyway. His job with the task force offers plenty of opportunity for such a play date. He gets what he wants, but is at the expense of Julianne's trust. Not easily fooled, she gives him a lecture on how this could have gone south for both of them. She is not ashamed to admit that she is a prisoner of her own mental illness, but she's also working hard to regain freedom like the rest of them, and that job has an essential role in that process. Ashamed of what he's done, he tells Vanessa that they must be careful from now on. If he follows the rules, he'll be free to be with her much sooner. The noble speech could make us cry, but only until he gives her a diamond that he has just stolen from the crime scene. When they're called in for the next job, Shia accidentally overhears a private conversation. Charlie is telling Zancanelli about his chances of getting his badge back. Until now, the cons had no idea about that situation. She decides not to say anything for now, and they all just get to work. Virgil Downing is a hitman with an extensive reputation, but now that he busted out of jail, it seems like his impressive skills are no longer for sale. The new victims are all connected to a girl named Genevieve, who was attacked in a frat house before she dropped out of college. During the investigation, Shia can't hold his tongue for too long. He tells Erica and Lowry what he heard before. They don't pay him much attention until he says the whole deal could be bogus. It's not like anyone else had confirmed their sentence reduction. Of course, they could simply contact their lawyers, but what's the fun in that? So they keep dropping accusatory remarks until Zancanelli snaps. He tells the truth and even reveals his crime. He took cash from a bust to buy his daughter a used car. Her stepfather was planning to give her a brand new one for her 18th birthday, and Zancanelli didn't want to look like a loser. The cons are not as relieved as he clearly expected. Grateful as they are for the opportunity, they are always treated like garbage by him when he was none the better. Angry as hell, he begins to shout about their shameful past. Charlie is the only one trying to stop him, probably because Erica and Cher can't wait until he gets to Lowry. No one knows how that nerd got a 25-year sentence. It turns out he sold drug prescriptions to cover his gambling debt, and it caused a teenage girl to OD. The mention of that incident is the first thing that truly affects Lowry. Back to the current case, they find out Genevieve's father was the guard who let Virgil escape. He hired him to avenge his daughter. Virgil ticks off every person on the list except for the last one, because Charlie gets there first and stops him. Trying to fix the damage to the team's unity, Charlie decides to come clean as well. He tells them about his heart condition, which is much worse than even Zancanelli knew. Weeks later, however, his watch disappears. It was a gift from his grandfather, and Charlie begins to suspect the cons. While they track down a psychiatric patient named Bennett Ballister, the already fragile trust they had in each other erodes even more. Finally, Zancanelli finds the watch in the bathroom, and Charlie apologizes to everyone. Just when things are starting to get better, Charlie has an unpleasant visitor. It's Chief Director Richard Wendell, who is not a fan of this task force, who tells Charlie to keep the cons in a much tighter leash, and he also wants Zancanelli out. Everyone can hear it when Charlie tells his superior to back off. Wendell threatens to put him behind a desk if anything goes wrong, but he still stands with his team. In the end of the day, what looked like a threat was actually just what the group needed to get back on track. Next in line is Carmen Vega, who used the funeral of her own son as an opportunity to run. Shia used to do business with her a long time ago, and he says that's the meanest person he ever met. Posing as the innocent wife of a deceased drug lord, Carmen is the actual boss in the whole cartel. Charlie agrees to keep Shay on the sidelines to avoid conflict inside the prison. But then he gets a horrifying call from his girlfriend. Carmen knows all about his deal with the marshals. Her men took Vanessa to make sure he'll cooperate. Now Shia is in an impossible position. Knowing Carmen, she won't hold up her side of any deal. Vanessa's only chance to survive is to be rescued by the marshals. But she has to help them in such a way that it looks like the opposite. Everyone can see he is not himself today, but he confides in Erica and Lowry only. Maybe not even that was such a good idea. They immediately begin to fear he'll try to save Vanessa and leave them to have their sentences doubled. It's the prisoner's dilemma with actual prisoners. The one good thing about Carmen is that there's always a new lead, something from the trail of devastation she can't help but leave behind. It is revealed that she ordered the hit on Sebastian, her oldest son, because of irreconcilable differences regarding the business. The funeral was also the perfect way out. The woman is heartless, and she also has eyes everywhere. As soon as an informant leaves the building, they hear gunshots and screeching tires. Two other marshals are among the victims. Charlie and Zancanelli also have a dilemma when they begin to suspect Shea. They need to do something about it, but they don't want to throw suspicion over a convict they have personally vouched for more than once. Tensions are running high now that the dead marshals push the stakes to the stratosphere. Erica is paranoid about Carmen getting to her daughter too, and Lowry is terrified because doubling his time means a life sentence. Even when Carmen is intercepted trying to sail back to Colombia, they don't feel any better. She makes sure to let them know she knows everything about them. Erica convinces Lowry that they should run away, but Julianne comes to see them in private. She speaks confidently for the first time, but doesn't threaten them as Charlie and Zancanelli always do. She makes them see that they have earned 1 year of freedom. That means 12 fugitives were caught. All of them made that same decision at some point, and it didn't work out for them. Not even Carmen walks free, and her youngest son eventually gives up Vanessa's location. Celebrating at a local bar, both the cons and the cops realize that their best shot is to stick together. And more importantly, the cons get to have some beer at last. And this is the end. This was a recap of the 2011 series Breakout Kings by Fox 21, starring Laz Alonso and Dominic Lombardozzi. Which character was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below with #CinemaRecap. Until next time.